the Acting Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, Honourable Ministers and MPs. I rise to address this House on two important United Nations rights covenants that the government is to ratify and to provide the background to these important agreements and the pathway to ratification. In 2010, the United Nations held a conference in Geneva, which was attended by all member countries of the UN. The purpose of the meeting was to announce two different but related covenants on human rights, that they were designed to form the basis of human rights legislation in every UN member country. At that meeting, the Fiji government committed to working to implement the covenants in Fiji and to review all the legislation currently used in Fiji that may be relevant to the covenants, both in the spirit and in the legal definitions of the covenants, to ensure that there was no conflict between the international covenants and the domestic laws and decrees. The most significant of domestic legislation was the Fiji Constitution, which our government had started to review with an object of making the then current Constitution more relevant to the demands of the nation and to incorporate an updated Bill of Rights, as well as clarifying other issues that did not meet current standards of governance. At the conference, it was agreed that the best way to ensure that the two covenants worked well with the domestic legislation currently in use was to review all laws from the bottom up and adjust the domestic legislation where necessary to bring it into line with the covenants. Fortunately, the review of the Fijian Constitution would also require the bottom-up approach, and the introduction of a number of new acts and the release of the two covenants was very timely. Madam Speaker, the two United Nations covenants focus solely on rights and are as follows. The International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which focuses on the rights related to the governance of the country and the individual rights within that area, and the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, or ICESCA. This covenant deals with the rights of individuals in their relationship with citizens and other entities and with government of the member state. There was a need to confirm and, if necessary, change existing legislation to meet the requirements of integrating the international covenants and domestic legislation to ensure a smooth transition. Every member state will attend a Universal Periodic Review, or UPR, with the UN every 4 years until they ratify or until the 2020 deadline. The review period has a maximum of 10 years, and ratification on the covenant is required by 2020. But a member state can ratify the covenant as soon as they believe that the international and domestic legislation is compatible. Early ratification is desirable as it immediately gains all the benefits. There are a number of member states that have already ratified, including in our region, Australia, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, and Palau. Because of the huge impact of the two covenants will have a marked effect on the legal framework of Fiji, and because of the government needs to understand what that impact will be and be assured that the results achieved by ratification of the covenants will bring meaningful benefit to the population of Fiji and provide improved governance. There has been a great deal of oversight in the process towards ratification. The Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Defence spent a significant amount of time in the assessment process and has sought expert advice and submissions from a wide spread of relevant specialists, stakeholders in the rights area, and government departments to ensure that the widest possible consultations have been undertaken and no issues have been overlooked. In the process, requests were made to a number of relevant parties to make a submission to the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs covering issues on the covenant, and in a number of instances, these submission requests were made with a set of questions that the committee felt that they needed expert opinion on. The submissions were made by the Director of Public Prosecution, His Lordship, the Chief Justice, Itoke Affairs Board, USP academics involved in the rights area, opposition parliamentary parties and youth wings, and some Fijian citizens. What are the benefits of ratifying the covenants, Madam Speaker? Ratification would indicate that Fiji accepts international norms and legal best practices and underlines its status as a nation committed to the rule of law and respect for human rights. The voice and authority with which Fiji presents its views on a myriad legal, political and diplomatic issue will be fortified in the various forums when we speak as a state that has formally committed itself to these two international covenants. There is some evidence to suggest that inward investment into Fiji and its attractiveness as a place to do business will be enhanced by its voluntary commitment to those fundamental human rights covenants. As Fiji moves forward and continues to develop, the values, safeguards, and other protection of the covenants may provide a further strengthening of the foundation of the country for the next phases of development. Ratifying the covenants will also allow Fiji to stand for membership of the United Nations Human Rights Committee and increase the diplomatic standing and strength of Fiji in the world diplomatic arena. Fiji has adequate redress mechanisms to deal with complaints that an individual's human rights have been breached, either through the constitutional redress provision of the 2013 Constitution or the Commissioner for Human Rights and Anti-Discrimination. Fiji has adequate institutions and laws in place to deal with the complaints that Fiji is not fulfilling its obligation under covenants and other human rights laws. There are currently a number of matters before Fiji courts that are dealing with human rights law claims. Section 7 of the 2013 Fijian Constitution allows relevant international rights to be used to interpret the rights and freedom protected in Fiji's Bill of Rights. A number of international decisions concerning the interpretation and applications of human rights have already been used in Fiji by the courts. Ratification of the two covenants will allow a greater depth of jurisprudence to be utilized in the courts of Fiji on matters of human rights. Countries will sign up to the covenant, but it is important to note that after the ratification process, states undertake certain responsibilities. The ratification of the covenants will constitute a yardstick by which Fiji's commitment will be measured and will enhance Fiji's standing with the rest of the world. The requirement within each of the covenants will involve the holding of regional meetings and technical meetings for study and consultation, and will provide a number of platforms for the exchange of information and reports of experience that will help significantly in strengthening Fiji's jurisprudence and the practices of people on the ground dealing with human rights issues. The ratification requires comprehensive reporting, and that requires wide internal communication for the state, and that the consulting process increases awareness and the quality of compliance on the human rights process. Madam Speaker, it is also important at this point for me to reiterate that Fiji's 2000 Constitution already has all the necessary laws to meet the requirements of the covenants. And I acknowledge that the introduction to the covenants in 2010 was of great assistance in the drafting of the 2013 Constitution. In fact, some of the human rights in the Fiji Bill of Rights are word for word as the same as the covenants. The 2013 Constitution and the legislation flowing from it make the ratification of the covenants immediately effective. The United Nations has cautioned that a state should not ratify the covenants until its domestic laws and policies comply with international legal obligations. Fiji is in the fortunate position that everything required is already in place. Ratification promotes greater realization of human rights with the potential to empower the disadvantaged and underprivileged and contribute to a more fair, just, and inclusive society, as always echoed by Honourable Prime Minister and Honourable Attorney General. Madam Speaker, the Standing Committee on Foreign Affairs and Defence was also concerned about some issues of the area of human rights and spent a significant amount of committee time exploring the relevance of these issues. One concern that was raised by several of the submissions was that in many cases human rights legislation was the product of people of European background, and that their outlook was focused on the single person. and a European lifestyle, and that this was the only one sector of the population in Fiji and indeed the Pacific. The Itoke communities in this country live in a significant numbers in a communal society where many of the human rights protection need to be different to provide for the protection of Itoke people, while not diluting the protection of those living in a more singular lifestyle. There are also concerns that their own unique culture and traditional religious beliefs needed to be considered. We were made aware of this issue initially by the UNDP and the United Nations Human Rights Commission, who made the presentation of the covenants and who advised us to ensure the protection of the communal way of life. After careful consideration and responses to questions directed at human rights professionals in the field, we are sure that the ratification of the two covenants will not diminish their protection, but will in a number of ways assist in increasing it. We were also concerned that the rights of people with disabilities were not reduced, and can reassure this House that this is not the case. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, our government is satisfied that the ratification of the two United Nations covenants will add significantly to the quality of Fiji's human rights protection and will bring with it many other tangible benefits to Fiji now and in the future. Ratification will increase Fiji's standing in the international community, demonstrating that we are, as a nation, are responsible for the well-being of our citizens in all areas of their lives. That we are capable of standing with the leading nations and work together, ensuring a better world. In conclusion, Madam Speaker, I support the ratification of the two covenants without reservations. Thank you, Madam Speaker.